activate the Illinois National Guard. We've kind of gone over this about the National Guard's mission, but will they be visible? And what happens?
Oh yeah, they're going to be visible.
Well, what I'll say is this. The governor and I were in frequent contact throughout the course of the day yesterday, and he has frequently offered up the use of the National Guard. As the day and the evening wore on and we saw the criminal element that we've now talked about at length really arising, and thinking about what our deployments were going to be, the superintendent and his leadership team made the call late last night, early this morning, and indicated that they believe.
You know what's funny is they got this new superintendent of police, and he doesn't even know the city. He's not from Chicago, so he doesn't even know hot spots.
The limited role is that they will play.
This city, Chicago's going to burn this summer. There's going to be looting every single weekend until fucking August or September.
When I called him and acted decisively and quickly to activate those resources, and we're grateful for it.
And just to say that to the mayor's credit, yesterday she asked for help from the state police. They were engaged yesterday. They provided up to 150 troopers.
He's wearing a diaper on his face.
I should probably take this off.
Yeah, take it off, fatso.
Up to 150 troopers, and we had 150 troopers engaged. And they provided backup.
Somebody called her Dykefoot.
Up to 100, I believe, today and tonight. And the National Guard.
You know, almost every person on this stage is gay. I'm pretty sure the Brigadier General is gay. I'm pretty sure Pritzker's gay. I'm pretty sure Screech is gay. And I'm pretty sure Lightfoot is gay. Kim Fox may be the only. She may be gay too. She seems pretty butch.
They are. We have 125 immediately engaged, and others on their way. 375 in total.
What happens if they're confronted?
Oh, they'll draw their AR-15s and they'll shoot.
Provide a perimeter. They're not going to be on the front lines. There's been a lot of discussion about that and what their role would be, but they're really there to provide.
You hear that? Front lines. So this is a war.
Taken the way that it seemed to in certain times last night.
We're going to let Mary Ann ask with you, and then we better wrap this up.
Thank you. There are questions of whether 375 are actually enough. We're hearing reports this afternoon of issues in Tinley Park. They've now issued a curfew for tonight. Several malls across the suburbs.
Sure.
It isn't just the city of Chicago.
That's right.
So will 375 actually be enough?
Well, 375 National Guardsmen, another 100 state police, and each of us, the state police in particular, has the ability and does, in fact, on a regular basis, assist local law enforcement. But I also want to point out that there is a network of police departments in a system called ILEAS, where law enforcement agencies share resources across lines. And so for many of the other towns and cities that need additional resources, they can turn to ILEAS as well. So there really are resources available at all levels here for law enforcement to get assistance.
Dana Kozlov is asking, are you concerned that their presence will inflame the violence?
I'm going to let the mayor answer that because it was her decision to ask about.
Pritzker's letting her take the fall.
What happens if they're confronted? They're every bit as well trained as our officers are. They are trained to come into these circumstances. The particular assets that are going to be initially deployed are military police officers. So I have every confidence that they will show exactly the same kind of restraint that our officers do, and we're not going to let them get into a difficult circumstance that they can't handle.
Dave McKinney is wondering, is there more you can tell us about whether any of the looters have known connections to alt-right groups? And is this criminal aspect of the protests that we're seeing here and in other cities something that warrants the FBI?
The FBI is very much involved, and they have been with us really along every single day and beforehand in its preparation. We're working in partnership with the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the ATF, particularly their bomb and arson units. It's too soon in the course of this investigation for us to be able to say definitively one way or the other. As I said before, what I can say, there's no question that some of the destruction that happened last night, particularly the arsons, were absolutely organized and coordinated.
Yeah, no shit. A fucking lightning bolt didn't come out of the sky and torture me, dummy.
But I'm confident of that so far.
Mayor, you mentioned in your earlier 11 a.m. news conference about rethinking Phase 3.
Yeah.
As even trying to get into the city is so difficult, and watching all the boarding up going on. Is Phase 3 really going to be happening on Wednesday? Should people plan on coming to work this week and going out to dinner this weekend?
No, hell no.
Look, I think we have to have a lot more conversations, first and foremost, with our public health officials, and we've started those conversations very early this morning. I'm very concerned about the fact that while I think the vast majority of people that gathered in the streets were wearing masks now, we could have an interesting discussion about
Dude,
why and who was
she
wearing
won't
masks.
give a
But the
fucking
fact of the
date.
matter
This
is,
stupid cunt won't give a
thousands of people
date.
in the street
She is
in
such
very
a
close proximity
fucking
to each
bullshit
other.
artist.
Not social distancing. We know from both the governor's, I think, guidance and transparency around how COVID is spread, certainly ours as well. There are a number of asymptomatic people that are out there. I'm worried. I'm absolutely worried about a potential outbreak as a result of what we saw yesterday. Thousands of people in cheek to jowl in small spaces is exactly the opposite of what we have been preaching now for 10 weeks' time. I'm worried about it. I think it's too soon for us to say. We are still on track for reopening on Wednesday, but if that changes, we will certainly let people know as quickly as possible. Let me also say this last piece. There are many things that were heartbreaking about what happened last night. But I will also say that for those businesses that have been closed down for 10 weeks in River North and really all over the city, that were starting to prepare, had put out, in many instances, brand new patio furniture, wanting to give their workers an opportunity to earn money and to provide entertainment for people in the city, to see their hard work and their money and resources literally go up in flame, their property reduced to kindling. That's heartbreaking. And that kind of lawlessness, as I think State's Attorney Fox said so incredibly eloquently, that's not First Amendment expression. That's criminal conduct.
Ooh.
And my heart aches for the people
Flip
who suffered
it. She flipped
the loss
it.
that we saw all over the city.
Marianne, this will be your last one, and then we'll go online.
I've got two. You got to let me hit two. Governor, do you agree? This is from Hannah Mizell. Do you agree that an indefinite curfew, something that hasn't been seen in Chicago for decades, is the right course of action? The ACLU calls it broad and vague, which could lead to, quote, arbitrary and discriminatory enforcement, and is exploring possible litigation.
Well, I can't say that these are decisions that get made at the local level. I think that certainly anybody who watched what happened last night and the night before too would have to understand the need for a curfew of some sort. And so I think that it seemed to be helpful to the police, to Chicago police last night, as there was a curfew. It really kept most of the people off the streets. The people who were breaking the curfew were, of course, the very people who were doing the damage that was done.
And
This is your last one.
right, Rich Miller is asking, if the protests cause an upswing in COVID cases, would you consider putting Chicago into its own region, its own IDPH region?
Well, we'll have to look forward to what happens over the next 2 to 3 weeks. But I am deeply concerned, and the mayor said it, I said it in my remarks, I am deeply concerned that when you gather people together, large groups of people, even when they're wearing masks, in very small, large groups in spaces that they can't socially distance and don't, we do run that risk. And so we'll have to look at this going forward. But I at the moment, we're not heading backward But I think that it is a warning